Hey, I'm here to give you a recap of Chapter 5 and Chapter 6 of To Kill a Mockingbird in case you missed anything. Bear with me as I give you the recap because I am watching Lila Kate while I'm doing this, and you may get some really awesome background noises from Lila Kate. She's super excited about To Kill a Mockingbird, and she can't wait to read it one day. So first I want to talk about Chapter 5. This is when Jim and Dill, they become better friends and Scout feels left out, which definitely happens, when you've got two older boys and then you've got a girl. Obviously, she's going to feel left out because she's not able to participate in some of the things that, they can participate in. And then Scout starts to spend time with one of my favorite characters, Miss Maudie Atkinson. And so Miss Maudie, we meet her in Chapter 5. Mainly, we get more description of her. And her description is on page 56 in this version of To Kill a Mockingbird. And it says, Miss Maudie hated her house. Time spent indoors was time wasted. She was a widow, a chameleon lady who worked in her flower beds in an old straw hat and men's coveralls. But after her 5 o'clock bath, she would appear on the porch and reign over the street in magisterial beauty. Now, this is kind of like if you're an athlete and you get all sweaty during the game, and then later at night you clean up and you look pretty or handsome if you're a guy. It's kind of like the best of both worlds. She likes to play outside, work in the dirt, and then she cleans up really well and she reigns over her porch in magisterial beauty, which is going to be more like, those are words of royalty. And so that's a great description of Miss Maudie if you want to add it to your character chart. Miss Maudie has a discussion with Scout. She talks about how Boo is still alive, and she has, she knew Boo's father, who is now dead. She says that Boo's father was very harsh on him. She says that when Boo was a child, he was very friendly, but he had a very religious father. In fact, on page 59, she calls Boo a foot-washing Baptist. And so, I think we had a conversation like this in some of the classes when we were talking about hypocrisy when we were reading Flannery O'Connor's A Good Man is Hard to Find. And, maybe his father was so strict that he's trying to keep Boo away from the world. Remember, it's that childlike presence and lens that we see a lot through the novel. And so he's probably crazy from staying inside for so long, is what Miss Maudie says, which I feel like Miss Maudie's pretty real. Like, I don't think she would lie to Jim or Scout. In fact, she's more like a mother figure to them. And so, I would always trust what Miss Maudie says. But anyways, if you were pinned up inside your house, which none of us knows what that feels like, right? I feel like we're all pretty much relatable to Boo Radley right now as we're trapped in our houses for the quarantine. But anyways, Boo Radley, he's probably going crazy from staying inside for so long. Like me. Okay. Jim and Dill, later in Chapter 5, they give a note to Boo inviting him to ice cream. They try to send him the note by putting it through a window on like a little fishing rod. And so, this isn't bad that they're doing this, but it's more of like an act of friendship that they want to talk to Boo, and they kind of want to see who he is or what he is. They've taken this idea from Miss Maudie, and they're trying to communicate with him in some sort, and they get in trouble for it from Atticus. In fact, Jim, he's kind of hurt about it. On the last page of Chapter 5 on page 66, Scout says, when Atticus was out of earshot, Jim yelled after him, "I thought I wanted to be a lawyer, but I ain't so sure now." Well, it's kind of like, you kind of want to be like your parents when you grow up. So maybe some of you do or some of you don't, but it's kind of like, well, my father, he's a lawyer. I want to be a lawyer too. And now Jim's like, well, maybe I don't want to be, because he feels like Atticus has lied to him basically. And so they get in trouble for reaching out to Boo Radley. And so we'll see more of this. And I want you to pay attention to Jim because, again, this is a coming-of-age novel, a Bildungsroman. It's a German word. And Jim is definitely growing and figuring out who he is. as a person and as a character, and he really begins to develop, and he really begins to see that harshness in the world that we talked about at the beginning of this unit. And so that's a recap of chapter 5. I'm going to do another video for chapter 6. So just hold that thought. Let me know if you have any questions, drop them down and I'll answer them.